reassure me that I'm not alone.
I want our voices to be heard.
Welcome to the stage, Congressman Joe Barton.
Thank you, Dwayne. Well, I've got good news and bad news. The good news is, after me, there's only 2 more speakers. That's a good thing. The bad news is you do have to listen to me, too. You know, I look around here, and I read the Homeland Security Bulletin about right-wing extremists. I don't see that. I see fathers and mothers and grandparents and veterans. I see at least one retired general. I see lots of supporters of the First Amendment, the right of freedom of speech, the right to petition your government. I see lots of people that support the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms. There you go. And as Governor Perry said, I see lots of people that support the 10th Amendment, the right that the states have all the power not explicitly given to the federal government. You know, as you look at me, you kind of see a gray-haired old fat man. And as my wife has pointed out, I need a haircut. I got one today. I had to fill out and send in my federal taxes today. Actually, my wife wrote the check. She had to go to the savings account to take money out. And there's good news and bad news about that. The bad news is we had to write the biggest check we've ever written. The good news is we've been blessed that we own some property that has natural gas under it, and we participated a little bit in the Barnett Shale, and they actually drilled and found something. So I don't mind paying a little bit to the federal government because of that blessing. Now, we've heard a lot of talk today about how bad Congress is and how bloated the federal government is. A lot of that's true, quite frankly. A lot of that's true. I'm the only one here that has this card. I'm one of 435 men and women that are honored to be United States congressmen and congresswomen. I represent 650,000 constituents from the 6th District of Texas. And it really is a privilege. It's not a joke, it's a privilege. So when we talk about what needs to be done in Washington, or in some cases what doesn't need to be done, I'm the only one here, for good or bad, that actually can do something about that right now. Now, I want to let you folks know there is a difference. This is not a Republican-Democrat meeting. This is a I'm mad and I want my government to listen to me meeting, which is a good thing. A very good thing. But there is a difference between the R's and the D's. And I'm going to give you a personal example. I'm going to go back to the first day in 50 years that there'd been a Republican majority in the House of Representatives. That was in January of 1995. We elected a speaker named Newt Gingrich, a good friend of mine. And he put on the floor the very first day, first time in 50 years, a constitutional tax limitation balanced budget amendment that was authored by me, Joe Barton. That amendment passed the House. It got over 300 votes. It needed 292. It failed in the Senate by 1 vote. By 1 vote. Now, that was the first day of a Republican majority in 50 years. This last January, when I held up my right hand, took the oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, not that first day, but the first week, Speaker Pelosi brought to the House floor a bill to spend $800 billion in stimulus that we don't have. Now, contrast a constitutional amendment to balance the budget with a 60% vote requirement to raise taxes to an $800 billion stimulus package with no strings attached. Friends, there's a difference there. There is a difference. When Ronald Reagan was president and I was a freshman, member of Congress, President Reagan submitted a balanced budget in 1 year to the Congress, and that total budget, the total budget, was less than $1 trillion. 14 members of Congress, I think, voted for it. I was one of the 14. In the budget last week, or 2 weeks ago, that President Obama submitted, he had a deficit of $1.7 trillion. A deficit. His deficit was almost twice Reagan's total budget. And Reagan's was balanced, and President Obama's doesn't balance forever.